deed somewhere in these woods. But that still didn't explain why Jake had decided to come back to Montana when he knew he was a wanted man. What possible motive could he have? Jake, who'd once been a valuable member of the elite FBI classified canine unit, had gone off the deep end after joining up with the notorious Dupree crime family. Fellow agent Ian Slade had fallen in love with the only crime-free member of the Dupree clan. Esme Dupree was willing to testify against her brother, Reginald, but she'd left the witness protection program because she feared for her life. Ian grudgingly became her protector after a trek through the Florida Everglades, where eventually her older sister, Violetta, shot and killed Angus Dupree in order to save Esme's life. But now Ian and Esme had gone into hiding in another country until Jake was found and Reginald Dupree was brought to justice. Couldn't happen soon enough for Zeke. The whole team had been playing a game of cat and mouse with Jake all spring and summer. Almost 6 months of searching for his armed and dangerous half-brother had brought Zeke back to Montana a couple of days ago. Reports kept coming in, sightings of the rogue agent near the Elk Basin and in other areas close to Billings. Was he trying to get back to headquarters? Or was Jake just messing with the entire team? I have to find him and try to reason with him. Take him in alive. Zeke stopped and gave Cheetah some water, patted him, and checked the dog's protective FBI vest. Good boy. You're doing great. Show me where to go next, okay? Cheetah would do his job. The medium-sized dog had a sweet temperament, but he was trained in search and rescue and could turn serious with one command. His canine partner never quit, so Zeke wouldn't either. Cheetah lifted his snout and sniffed the hot August air. Then the dog tugged at his leash and headed east, back toward the main trail out of the basin. Zeke followed, the sound of distant voices causing his pulse to rise. Could he finally be on the right track? No! Penny tried to break away, but Jake grabbed her by the collar of her shirt and jerked her back so hard pain shot through her neck. Praying her son was okay, she tried to stay calm so she could see a way out of this. Shoving her ahead of him on the rocky path into the thicket, Jake kept one hand in a death grip on her arm. Let's go. We're getting Kevin. And either you both go with me, or I'll take him, and you won't even have time to regret it. You don't have to do this, she pleaded, wondering how Jake had found her. She'd been all over the country, using fake names, constantly changing her appearance and hiding out in dives with her now 2-year-old son. Penny hated dragging Kevin from pillar to post and hiding him in secrecy, but she had to protect him from his father. She'd thought since almost 6 months had passed and no one had found Jake, she'd be safe coming back to Montana, especially here in the remote wilderness in the Elk Basin, an area she'd loved all of her life. But then, she'd always underestimated the dangerous man holding her against her will now. Penny had wanted to believe Jake was one of the good guys, but she could tell even before he'd disappeared that he'd changed. She'd heard the rumors and a few cryptic news reports after he'd been presumed kidnapped by a member of the Dupree crime family. But as the months wore on, things had taken a sickening twist. Now Jake was wanted by the very people who used to trust him and work with him, his own FBI team. Their work was classified, but she knew they'd searched her former house and probably taken some pictures she'd left there, so they could easily identify her and Kevin. They were most likely searching for her too. She'd taken off long before they showed up, and she'd had to leave several other temporary locations, all because she'd been trying to get away from Jake. Her ex was in deep trouble, and from what she could glean, it had something to do with the criminal syndicate that his former unit had tried to infiltrate several months ago. Jake had gone missing once the dust had settled on that botched mission. She'd heard they'd captured Reginald Dupree that day, but his uncle Angus Dupree had escaped.